Please reconsider. I'm not selling an engine. You must. I'm not. Edward is too old, sir. You must sell him. I'm not selling an engine. Fine, but he'll become worn out eventually. Sodor. An island filled with railways that is set between the Isle of Man and England. The last station in England being the terminus of Baron Finesse. There are very splendid engines that run this wonderful railway, which in fact makes this railway so special. These are the stories of the North Western Railway. Ah, hello, Duck. How are you on this morning? Oh, hello, Edward. Yes, I'm all right. Well, considering. What's the matter? There's a big shipment of cargo coming at the docks that I'm being sent to shunt. You'll do great. Thank you, Edward. Now, gotta shunt some more trucks. Keep 'em busy. That's right, smiled Edward, as he puffed away. Edward is a wise old engine, who with BoCo runs the Brendam Branchlines. He does many jobs, however, he has worn-out parts which do not help tiring situations. One evening, Edward and Donald were at the quarry when Donald spoke up. You know, Edward, I just had a thought. How about we send this diesel away? I feel like he's up to something fishy. Like he's trying to get rid of us and send us on the scrap heap. No, Donald. BoCo is a friend and he needs to help us with this big shipment. I know, Edward, but have you forgotten that Diesel tried to scrap me and Dougie? I know, Donald. Please be calm. But BoCo is a friend and we need him desperately right now. I know him. Donald still had his doubts. However, this big shipment was very important and he'd have to complete his work with or without BoCo. Edward's branchline had been tasked with the big shipment, seeing as Brendam Harbour was where the shipment was coming to, and the Scottish twins had been transferred by the fact controller to work on Edward's branchline until the big shipment ended. Even with their strength, it was still hard work. One afternoon, Edward clanked into Knapford Station, hitting a bump. You all right, Edward? You hit a bump there. Yes, BoCo, I'm fine. Just reminds me of Winston. Winston, you say? Who's that? Asked BoCo. Winston. He was an engine who used to work here. He was called the Eagle, and he pulled the Wild Nor'wester. One afternoon, I arrived at the station to see him waiting. Edward, I think this signal's broken. I've been stuck here for half an hour, and, well, I haven't moved. And there's nothing on the line ahead. Until the next signal. Winston, I'm pretty sure there's a reason why it's red. They probably just something further on and it hasn't been cleared up yet. I'm going to risk it. See if there's anything there. It can't be that bad. He went along the line. There was a girder on the line. And it fired up his undercarriage and burst his boiler. And that was the last I ever saw of my dear friend Winston. And that bump just reminded me of it. Thankfully, his coaches were uncoupled, and when it happened, but he was sent to the works and I never saw him again. Elsewhere, Douglas left the yard to collect a ballast truck. He came into the yard, slipped on the tracks and couldn't brake, and he smashed on a truck and came on top of it. The crane soon arrived and put him on a flatbed. Unfortunately, the engines continued on working, unfortunately without Douglas. It was hard work with the extra cargo, but the engines persevered on. The passengers and goods train were very hard. Donald would get annoyed at BoCo 24/7, and Edward had to stop them from arguing. Although Edward's worn-out parts would not help the situation, and every time Edward would were coming back to the sheds, he'd be clanking and making horrible noises. The 3 engines sat in silence for a good long time, and finally, Donald spoke up.
You know, I just had a thought. Maybe if BoCo here wasn't on the island, maybe Dougie wouldn't have had his accident.
Rubbish, said Edward.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to give Douglas an accident, said BoCo. Oh, maybe not intentionally, but maybe you're just bring bad luck, you smelly diesel.
Donald, be quiet.
You probably just bring misfortune, don't you, laddie?
No, I don't, persisted BoCo.
Alright, that's enough, said Edward. We're going to sleep, no more talk, and we'll sort this out in the morning. There. The light dimmed out, and the 3 engines went to sleep, each angry. The next day, the sun burst through the clouds, and the engines all woke up. Donald was about to criticize BoCo, but Edward said, "Be quiet, Donald," and that shut him up. And Edward puffed away to collect his first passenger train. Edward collected the morning local and headed on his way. He liked the morning local, but unfortunately, he clanked and squeaked, and his passengers had to hold their ears shut. BoCo collected a passenger train, but then, on his way back, he broke down, which did not help, which meant Edward and Donald were the only engines working. Edward was coming back to the station to pick up some coaches when the track flung up behind him. And I'm sorry to say that the next engine to cross was Edward the Blue Engine. That afternoon, Edward was resting in the shed when Henry pulled in.
Goodness, Edward, was that you clanking? I could hear you from the station.
Yes, Henry, it was me.
BoCo pulled in. This is getting out of hand now, Edward. You need to go to the works. Otherwise, you'll have an accident or fall apart or something.
No, BoCo, I'm absolutely okay.
You're not okay, Edward. Trust me, if I can hear you clanking from your worn-out parts from the station, that means you need an overhaul.
I'm fine. Trust me, Henry. You too, BoCo. You'll be absolutely okay.
I don't think so, said Henry. Duck pulled up past him. BoCo, your train's ready. It's all ready to go and set to go to Brendam. Perfect. Let's go, Duck. You need to listen to them.
I know, it's just, well, Henry, you're one of my oldest friends. You need to let me try. My worn-out parts, yes, they're very old, and I was slightly ill when I came to it. Yes, I know.
Trust me. After the shipment is done, then you'll have an overhaul. All right, you've got me. Duck shunted some coaches, and Edward puffed away.
It would be nice to have an overhaul.
That afternoon, Edward collected the local, but on his way he clanked and squeaked and shuddered violently. He stopped and bumped the coaches. The passengers didn't mind though too much. They knew Edward was trying. On his way back, he crashed at the site because the tracks had collapsed and rotted away slightly after being flung up. The back controller arrived. This wasn't your fault, Edward. The tracks were weak here and they needed repairs. BoCo took Edward to the works, and soon Edward returned to the branchline after the shipping had done. But before Edward would return to the branchline, another engine would fill in for his place. And let me tell you, he was not happy about it. Episode 5 will be coming soon.